Hey, grade eights, what up? Okay. So section 10.2, moving on from that. Solving two-step equations. So doing some more algebra, this time two steps. So they're going to be multiplication, division, as well as addition, subtraction. So again, you've done some of this, or you have done this in grade 7 as well. So hopefully for many of you, this is review. But if not, we can relearn it. So let's look at these by modeling again. So looking at what if we had a teeter-totter. So teeter-totter, and we're going to do A, which says 3W plus 3 is equal to 6. So I have 3 W's. Let's say each of these is a W, 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 W. And I also have 3. 1, 2, 3. And on the other side, I just have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these, both sides are the same amount. That's what equal signs means. So we need to find out how much 1 W is equal to. Well, to do that, the first thing we want to do is get rid of these 3 counters here. And then we could get rid of 3 counters on the other side. Since I did the same thing to both sides, my teeter-totter would remain balanced. Now, I want to find what just 1 W is equal to. So I'm going to divide my W's by 3, since there's 3 of them, and that would leave me with 1 of them. Or I take away 2/3. If I also divide the right side by 3, or take away 2/3, that leaves me with 1. So I'm saying W is equal to 1. So I can put that into my equation for W there. 3 times 1 is 3. So now I'm using normal order of operations to solve this. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 3 is equal to 6. So my left side is equal to 6, my right side is equal to 6. Therefore, W must be equal to 1. Okay? Okay, let's do B quickly here. So I have my teeter-totter. I have 2P on this side, P and P. And I also have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the right side of my equation, I have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. They're balanced and equal. I want to find out what one of these boxes P is equal to. So I take away 4 counters from my left side, taking away the 4 from those P's. I take away 4 on my right side. So I do the same thing on both sides. It would remain balanced. My teeter-totter would remain balanced. Now I want to get rid of one of these P's, which is half of the amount. Okay, I don't know exactly how much that would be, but it's get rid of half. So I get rid of half on the other side, or I'm dividing it by 2. Now I'm left with P is equal to 3. So what we're doing when we're using a teeter-totter, we would just slowly remove things and cancel things out until we're just left with 1 P on one side, or 1 variable on one side, and then the amount that it's equal to on the other. And that's what we're doing when we are using the opposite operation. We are just like pretending, or like we're taking away things from each side of the equation. The equal sign, an equal sign means that the things on each side are the same, so balanced. They might look different, but they're the same amount. And so we can just take things away until we find what one of those variables is equal to. Okay, and we do that using the reverse order of operations. So back in these questions, you notice that we first got rid of those 3 extra, or those 4 extra counters on each side, right? We minus 3 and minus 4 on each side. So we worried about that addition first, and then we're going to look at doing, or worrying about, that multiplication or division. So when you're solving an equation, so not or when we're solving for a variable in an equation, we're trying to undo the equation. And so you do things in the opposite order that you would do than when we're using BEDMAS. Since we're trying to undo it, it's going to be the opposite. It's like in the morning, you put on all of your clothes in one order, you know, underwear, pants, shirt, sweater, jacket. Then when you get home and you take those things off, the first thing that comes off is your jacket, then your sweater, you know, then your pants, then your underwear, whatever. Well, maybe not right when you get home, but you know the idea. So it's the opposite order. And so when we're solving for a variable, we need to do the opposite, the reverse order of operations. So you'll see things asking you, solve by applying the reverse order of operations. That means what I'm about. I have 5 times by n is equal to 25. I'm going to do the opposite operation. So I'm going to divide by 5. So 5 times n divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1n, so I'm just left with n. I also divide by 5 on the right side to keep my equation balanced. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and so I get my solution that n is equal to 5. Okay, so now we should always check. It is always a good idea to check, even if you're not asked to, just to make sure you're right. And you check by seeing if your left side is equal to your right side. So now I substitute my n equals 5 in for n. So I get 5 times 5 plus 7 equals 32. Okay, so now that I'm not solving for a variable, I have to follow normal order of operations. So 5 times 5 is 25 plus 7 equals 32. Well, hey, 25 plus 7 is 32, which is equal to 32. So left side equals right side. Therefore, that's correct. 5 must be the solution. Okay, just to explain, like what would happen if I got n is equal to 6? Well, if I got n equals 6, because I just, made a little mistake, and then I put that into my check, I would say 5 times by 6 plus 7 is equal to 32. And then I say 5 times 6 is 30, plus 7 equals 32, and then 37 is equal to 32. Well, 37 is not equal to 32. So, as before, I say 32 equals 32, and you're like, well, that's sort of dumb. Of course 32 is equal to 32. Well, it's just showing me that my left side is equal to my right side, whereas right now I get 37 is equal to 32, which is actually a lot dumber than 32 being equal to 32, because that can't be correct. So if you get the left side is not equal to your right side, then you have the wrong solution. So that's why we always do the check. It's always a good idea. Substitute what you got for the variable back into your equation. Okay, so for B, I get 53 is equal to 4r minus 11. Okay, so I'm trying to solve this. First thing I do is the addition or subtraction that's being done to my variable. So it's minus 11, so I'm going to add 11. I'm going to add 11 on this side. 11 minus 11 plus 11, those cancel out. So now I can rewrite. So 53 plus 11 is 64 is equal to 4r. So r is being multiplied by 4. I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. And those 4's cancel out. Just leave me with just one r on that side, which is what I want. And on the left side, 64 divided by 4, you could use your calculator. You're allowed to use your calculator this unit. Or you think 64 divided by 2, well, that's 32. Divide that by 2 again is 16. Dividing by 2 twice is the same as dividing by 4. So r is equal to 16. Okay, you should substitute that back in. I won't write it, but 4 times by 16, you would get 64 minus 11. That equals 53. So my left side and my right side are equal. Okay, so that's the reverse order of operations, really what you're going to be doing all the time when solving for a variable. Okay, so solve by applying the opposite operations. So that's what we have been doing again. So sometimes it'll say use the reverse order of operations. It'll say solve by applying the opposite operations. That is just what I'm doing here in these examples. Okay, so A, 4 plus 26g is equal to negative 48. So we have some negatives in here now. You guys have just recently done the integers unit, so hopefully you're all good with that. Okay, so 4 is equal to 26g. That's not a b, this is a g. There we go. 4 plus 26g is equal to negative 48. Okay, so first things first, I need to get rid of not the multiplication with the variable, so not the 26, but what's being added to it. And what's being added to it is this positive 4. So it doesn't have a positive in front, but it is a positive, so we subtract 4 to cancel those out, and we subtract 4. So those cancel out. My 4s are ugly. Okay, and then on my left side, I'm left with 26g. And then on my right side, I have negative 48 minus 4. So I'm subtracting 4, subtracting positive 4, so my number's going to get even smaller. Or I have negative 48 and negative 4. In total, I'm bringing it down to negative 52. Again, you can use your calculator. This unit isn't going to be, I'm not really going to be testing you as much on your integer operations, but just on following these steps to solve. So I get 26g. I want to get the g by itself, so I divide by 26 on the left side, divide by 26 on the right side. I'm left with g is equal to, well, negative 52 divided by 26. It's a negative and a positive, so my answer is going to be negative. 52 divided by 26 is 2, so g is equal to negative 2. Okay, I'm not going to check right now, but it would be a good idea to substitute what you get for g, negative 2, back into there. Right, 26 times negative 2 would be negative 52 plus 4 would bring me down to negative 48. Okay, b, negative 3x plus 7 is equal to 19. So I first need to get rid of the addition or subtraction. So that's positive 7, so I'm going to subtract 7 on my left. I'm going to subtract 7 on the right. It's a good idea to practice writing it down the same way that I'm doing it. I know maybe it doesn't feel right or natural to you, but it's just sort of the way that it's done in math. So yeah, it just keeps things clean and neat. So the 7 plus 7 minus 7, they cancel out. I'm left with negative 3x is equal to, well, 19 minus 7 is equal to 12. So now I have negative 3x. I'm going to divide by negative 3, since x is being multiplied by negative 3. I'm also going to divide on the right side by negative 3. So the negative 3's cancel out. The negative and the 3's cancel out, because negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1. So I'm left with just 1x. It's equal to 12 divided by negative 3 is equal to negative 4. Okay? If x is equal to negative 4, does that make sense? Could I substitute back in, and is that right? Well, it would be negative 3 times by negative 4. I'm following normal order of operations now. Negative 3 times by negative 4 is positive 12 plus 7 is equal to positive 19. So that must be the correct answer. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're just doing this opposite order of operations. So you do whatever's being done to the variable, you do the opposite to it until you get left with just that one variable on the side to find what it's equal to. Okay, take some practice. Might need to watch this video or that section of the video a second time, just sort of see the steps, because it looks sort of messy at the end. But really important that you're understanding how to do this. Okay, just a couple of word problems. A cow sleeps 7 hours a day. This amount of sleep is 1 hour less than twice the amount an elephant sleeps a day. I don't know who's figuring this out, but anyways, how long does an elephant sleep? Well, if a cow sleeps 7, it says this amount is the same as, this sleep is 1 hour less than twice the amount an elephant sleeps a day. Okay, so these can be really confusing. Let's just actually go back. What I'd want to first find is, what's my variable? What's my unknown? Well, my unknown's in my question, how long does an elephant sleep? So, elephant sleeps a day. That's my variable, E, we can call that. Okay, and then I'm going to sort of work backwards from there. So what's the closest thing being done to that elephant? Well, twice the amount an elephant sleeps would be 2e, and 1 hour less than twice the amount an elephant sleeps would be 2e minus 1 hour less than that. Okay, it would not be 1 minus 2e. Okay, even though it says 1 hour less than first, that's 1 less than, that's minus 1 after twice the amount the elephant sleeps. So, twice the amount an elephant sleeps, 1 hour less than that, so that's this expression right here. And then that says that this is the amount of sleep. So a cow sleeps 7 hours a day, and that's the same as 1 hour less than twice the amount an elephant sleeps. Okay, so these can be pretty confusing questions. Whoops. I get that. So you just have to sort of try to break it down, and maybe you see it differently than I do. But this is the equation that they're asking you to make. And it's actually important that you can make an equation out of a word problem. That's going to be happening a lot in math later on. It's a big part of it. So 2e minus 1 is equal to how much a cow sleeps, or 7 hours. Okay, so now that I have this equation, I can solve for how long an elephant sleeps quite simply. So first, e is having 1 subtracted from it. I'm going to add 1 on each side. The 1's cancel out. I'm left with 2e on the left. On the right, 7 plus 1 is 8. I divide by 2. Those cancel out. Divide by 2. E is equal to 4 hours. Does this make sense? Is this a reasonable answer? Well, yes. A cow sleeps 7 hours a day, and that's 1 hour less than twice the amount an elephant sleeps a day. So obviously a cow sleeps more based on that sentence, so this makes sense that an elephant would sleep 4 hours. Okay, one more word problem. Okay, so Callie borrowed $19 from her brother. The next day, she paid back $3. To pay off the rest of the debt, she will give him $4 every week. So how many weeks will it take her to pay off the debt? So what's our variable? Well, our variable, the unknown, is the number of weeks that she's going to have to be paying $4 a week back until she's paid back the $19. Okay, so how could we find? What they'll want you to do is write an equation for this. And it's a good thing to practice. Even if you could solve it without writing the equation, it's a good thing to figure out what that equation is. So she's going to be paying $4 every week, so 4 times the number of weeks that she's paying, which we don't know. But she's also already paid on top of that, the $3. And all of that payment here, right, this 4W and the 3 shows up how much she's going to be paying. That all has to add up to $19 that she's paying back. Okay, so here's our equation. From this, we can make this equation. Now I need to solve for W to know, well, how many weeks does it take for her to pay it all back? So it would be subtracting 3. Those cancel out. On the left, I'm left with 4W. On the right, I am left with, well, 19 minus 3 is 16. There we go. 4W, divide by 4. Since W is being multiplied by 4, those cancel out. I divide 16 by 4 as well. Do the same thing on each side. And W is equal to 16 divided by 4 is 4. So we're saying it would take her 4 weeks to pay back the $19. Does this make sense? Well, if she's paying $4 every week, she does that for 4 weeks. That means she'll pay back $16. She already paid back $3. 16 plus 3 is 19. Yes, so this makes sense that it would take her 4 weeks to pay off her $19 debt to her brother. Okay? So that's it. 2-step equations. Let me know if you need any help. Have a good day.